Well, this is three revolutions in one. It's a money revolution. This is a monetary system. That's primarily Bitcoin, to some extent Ether. And then we have the DeFi revolution, which is decentralized finance, which we think is going to threaten all of the financial industry, including asset managers, right? And then we have really the next generation internet revolution, and that's really about NFTs and property rights in the digital ecosystem. I think blockchain technology is going to be involved with most of the platforms we have centered our research on. So the genomic platform, genomic sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology. We think there are going to be all kinds of convergences taking place. And we're going to go from $10 trillion in market cap in the public markets attributed to innovation, disruptive innovation, to $210 trillion by 2030. And we think blockchain technology is truly a revolution.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood discussing her outlook for the current bear market, as well as the impact that the stock and cryptocurrency markets are having on Bitcoin. Cathie will also talk about her financial outlook for the coming several months and whether or not she can see an end anytime soon. Although the effects of the recent economic crisis are currently being felt by Bitcoin, Cathie highlights other nations that are also going through a currency crisis and haven't yet seen the worst of it. She thinks that the current economic downturn is just a preview of what is to come. We will examine her forecast for Bitcoin, as well as her investment strategy for the stock, cryptocurrency, and capital markets. Let's listen to Cathie's prediction about the current market collapse, the recession, inflation, and the effect of interest rate hikes on capital sectors towards the end of our video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
The last year has been murderous for innovation stocks. And it's because of fears of inflation and interest rates rising much higher. And that has hurt the multiples, the PE ratios, valuations of these companies. I have a point of view, or we have a point of view on inflation and interest rates, but we think this has been way overdone, way overdone. And it is interesting that actually, just since COVID, we've seen the correlation between Bitcoin, crypto generally, and the NASDAQ. It's increased quite dramatically. Prior to that, very little correlation. Yeah. But as you said, Bitcoin has outperformed many of the innovation stocks out there. I think that's a really good sign in terms of underlying demand. You will find the building blocks of this in our Big Ideas 2022 presentation. It's on our site, ark-invest.com. But we do believe that Bitcoin will usurp 50% of gold's role. This is digital gold. So that's roughly a $5 trillion opportunity right there. So the smallest one is remittances. We think that it will take most of the remittance market. The remittance market is a $600 billion market. We have insurance policies, high net worth individuals watching, confiscation of wealth. Right. And with all the turmoil in emerging markets and elsewhere, the Middle East, who knew that MBS was going to take his cousin's wealth away? So don't they wish they had some Bitcoin and private keys? Also, companies allocating some of their cash or diversifying some of their cash into Bitcoin. We've seen Tesla do that, Coinbase, Square, of course, MicroStrategy. Right. And you're going to see some countries putting Bitcoin into their treasury. Right. We assume only 1%. So if you look at the building blocks, and then finally institutional, how much will institutional investors account for this? Well, we assume that institutional investors will put 2.5% of their allocation to Bitcoin. Right. And that isn't even as big as the global digital gold opportunity.
Cathie continues by stating that some nations do not wish to depend on politicians to determine monetary policy. Digital currency is used heavily in emerging economies, and Cathie predicts that decentralized finance will eventually replace the majority of the current financial services companies.
I actually go to sleep praying that Bitcoin doesn't go to $1 million in a short period of time, because that would mean civil society is broken down in the US, right? You look at a place like Turkey where you had horrific stewardship of the economy, right? Erdogan did just a terrible job, and their currency devalues. Working middle class people lose their savings. And so in a lot of ways, Bitcoin is a report card on financial stewardship. And you hope that the US can get their act together between Chairman Powell and Janet Yellen. And if they do, the US, and then if Europe does, the West, isn't going to need to flood into Bitcoin, right? If we lose control of our economy, right? If we lose control of inflation, if governments can't restrict themselves and just keep, like, pay for all student loans, pay for it, like, it's really popular to pay for stuff, and confidence breaks down, you'll see Bitcoin really accelerate. And so I don't want it to really accelerate wildly in the short term, just for all our safety. I do think in the medium term, it's just going to grind, because there's almost no way we get out of this debt trap without inflating our way out, right? There's just too much debt in the US, in Europe, and around the world. And so you've got to inflate your way out of this, right? The US has got to run 4% inflation, act like it's 2%, and just hope it doesn't go this way.
Right.
Otherwise, we're going to have this debt that's going to saddle generations, right? And so I do think you're going to see Bitcoin grind up because of this adoption. People are going to be like, wait a minute, 7% inflation this year, 4% inflation, Bitcoin is deflationary, or pretty close to deflationary. And so I think it's a much steadier mission. I do think 500,000, right, that's gold, if you want to think about it. So just to replace gold, you get to 500,000, depending on where gold goes. I think gold's going to go higher as well. And so I'm a medium-term 500,000 guy, and I think we could get to 1 million at one point. But I don't think in the short run we want it that high.
Well, it is a new asset class, and it is the leader of the new asset class. And so I don't think it will be going up immediately because of a breakdown in our economic prospects. And I also think that all of the technology, I'm going to take the other side of this bet, I think the technology revolution, and it's not just blockchain technology, it's genomic sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, all of them are highly deflationary, and all of them will be very destructive to the traditional world order, but they will present massive opportunities for growth. So I feel as though it's going to feel chaotic like it does now, but I do believe that we're heading into a deflationary world. And it will be very good for some companies. They will boom. You lower prices, you get more demand. But other legacy industries are going to be sitting there with stranded assets. And there's going to be a lot of confusion about what's going on, as there is today. So we shall see.
According to Cathie Wood, ARK makes all of its research easily available to the general public, giving her clients a level of clarity they can't find anywhere on the market. She added that the traditional banking sector does not deserve shareholders of innovation, and that the investment group would continue to reveal its financial structure. Wood advises the business in which she is invested to make significant investments right now to capitalize on the enormous growth potential. What do you think of Cathie Wood's interview on the current financial market, her prediction for Bitcoin, and what's to come this year? Comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.